Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with a net. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with a net. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with a net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey, great afternoon, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your girl, your host. I'm also your certified mental health ambassador and author of that award-winning bestseller, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. If you haven't gotten your copy, please head on over to Amazon or to my website at getcaughtinanetradio.com. And I'm excited to be here on another Wednesday. We're going to bring you another health and wellness segment. We normally do that at the end of the month. Before we get started, Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you for blessing us and helping us and giving us your strength and your direction. We pray that you will get the glory and help us to understand what you want us to on this day, to receive of you. My God, regarding our health, regarding our wellness, oh God, you care about us. You care about the total man. So help us to receive in Jesus' name. And the first part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we are grateful and excited to be here with you on this afternoon. I would say, if you see my face, 12 noon Central Standard Time on a Wednesday, it's time for you to come on in and get caught in a net. And I want you to do just that. I'm going to bring on Dr. Shirley Hill, but I want to remind you that you can. Well, I do ask if you would not mind. Go ahead sharing this live feed here on Facebook. I on my page, Annette Get Caught in the Net. We're also live on my Instagram channel, Get Caught in the Net, and of course, YouTube, Get Caught in the Net Incorporated. You shouldn't be able to miss us on today. So do me a favor again, tag, share, like, throw up the heart, the thumbs up, the care button, if you would not mind doing that for me. When you do that, you're pushing this out. You're reminding individuals that we are on and they can come on, they can engage with us, they can listen in. I do see you guys starting to join already, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much. Let me bring on the wonderful and beautiful Dr. Shirley Hill. Mo Faith Nutritional Services is in the house. How are you on this afternoon?
I'm great, thank you. And how are you? I'm
doing good. I'm doing good. Look, I feel like I'm on I felt like I was on a fast track right then, but It's a lot to pour in, get all the house in order before we get started on this particular session on today. Of course, we're always grateful to have you every month to come in and share with us. There's some things that happen from month to month that you want to share with us, or I know you always go before God, and I get excited because of that. I love how you allow God to lead you to help us to deal with the total man. We of course deal with our spiritual aspects, but our natural man needs attention as well. So I have on today, y'all know, Dr. Hill gives me long titles. But you know what? I love her for it. She texts me one title, and then she texts me something else later. I said, "You want me to use both of them?" She said, "It's up to you. I just had to get it out." That's exactly what she said. Like, I'm going to tell you what the title is, but let me recognize a few individuals. Janice Pritchard, thank you so much. She says, "Greetings, ladies, like and share." Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I think we have been blessed to have Dr. Lord Michael Hunt on today. Thank you. He says, "Blessings, God's blessing upon you, women of God." We received that. We received that. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. And make sure you guys, when you come in, go ahead and share. You can tag individuals directly into this live feed as well. That way, if they're not able to watch it live, they can watch it once the actual show is over, the rebroadcast. So I have here, are we terminating future generations with a knife and fork? That's one of the ones, right?
Right.
That was so deep. And I'm like, oh God, help me, because you're always trying to make sure that you are in line with what God has. So are we terminating our future generations with a knife and fork? And then she had, literally, extinction of the human race could be at the end of our knife and fork. I know that had to, of course, be an extension of the first one, right? Or maybe even a rewording of some sort. But you know how we always do, Dr. Hill. I want you to give me a little background on this. How do we get to this particular topic on today? Topics.
This one I was having a little trouble with this month, and I was saying, okay, you got to give this woman of God some kind of title. Okay, Holy Spirit, help me, give me give me something this month. And so I had been looking into genetics. I actually love genetics.
Okay.
And I was looking in, and I ran across something that got my attention, that was talking about a habit that we have
Generation.
that was diminishing
Mm-hmm.
that was diminishing the sperm.
Ooh.
And that was raising the testosterone levels in females. Yeah. And it had some other things to go along with that. So we'll get into that. And that, of course, that I started thinking, okay, now if we're raising testosterone in the women, and we're damaging the sperm in men, and the testosterone production in men is being reduced, then what is that doing to our future generations?
Good Lord.
And are we even going to have any future generations going in the direction that we are going? So that's how I got there. And it's really funny because I think it was last night popped up on my Facebook timeline a memory, and it said genetic drift. And and something about let's talk about it at 11 o'clock today, whatever. And it was from 20, the same date, 2019,
Whoa.
when we were going into the pandemic. And so God had given me to talk about genetic drifts. And then I said, oh, okay, are we terminating? Are we exterminating our future generations with a knife and a fork through genetic drifting or genetic drift? And so I said, oh man,
I have a question.
yes.
Can you talk about what genetic drifts is? Or are you going to, maybe you're going into that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I am. I am. But genetic drifts has a lot of different parts to it. And so the part that we'll be talking about is how we'll go into it as we go along.
Okay.
We'll go into that as we go along. And so, Lord Jesus. So say something so I know if I can still hear you.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm still here.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I came to that conclusion. And pray for me that I can make it clear, because sometimes I realize there's some things that's so exciting to me and some things that I am so all gung-ho about, and people don't know what in the world. I used to get a whooping for saying heck. So
I get it. But you know what? Like I said, you had me at talking about terminating our future generations with a knife and fork.
yes.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to be praying that, God blesses you to get this across to us, because we don't we don't like people messing with our food.
No.
We don't. But we need to hear this. We need to hear about this, about our knife and fork. I don't want to. I don't want to sound callous, but I see so much, even like within my family, loved ones, and going through, physically, and it's almost like one thing right after the other. And I will say this: the other week I was in a conversation with some individuals, and I cannot tell you how shocked I was because of the conditions because it was more than one. And we were talking at the same time, and they were talking about the condition that they were dealing with, but they were so young. They were talking about their, I guess I can say that their cholesterol level was sky high, and they were young people. And I'm like, it just almost blew my mind. I'm like, huh? I mean, how do you get to knife and fork, future generations? Come on, Dr. Hill, talk to her. I guess I kind of set you up a little bit.
You really did, because I cannot tell you how spot on you are. It is just God that brought this together, and we do have a solution. So everybody that's listening, stay all the way until the end. Like and share, as they say. But there is a solution. It will be at the end, not before.
All
and
right.
so you hit that cholesterol. I'm not sure I was going to start with cholesterol. But one of the things that I discovered, I don't know if it's been a month. I discovered that babies are being born with cholesterol 200. 200. Yes. And I said, okay, how can a baby be born with cholesterol that high? Because we know that cholesterol comes from the diet, right?
Mm-hmm,
Comes from what we eat. But where the generations come in is that because the mother has high cholesterol, the father has high cholesterol, the sperm and the egg is made with and from the materials that same high cholesterol, and that egg and sperm, the reproductive cells,
Right.
they now have high cholesterol, and that baby is born with double high cholesterol because the parents had high cholesterol, and it produced that high cholesterol was produced in that egg, sperm, fetus, embryo, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're having to treat children with this, that have this high cholesterol. They're having to treat them for this high cholesterol because that high cholesterol, it does the same thing in their body that it does in the adult human body. The only thing is they have had 9 months of development. Their physical body has been developed, produced
Right.
with this high cholesterol. And they came into the earth realm with this high cholesterol. Therefore, they are more prone to, when they get here, they're prone to the heart attacks and the stroke because of the high cholesterol levels. And we have seen that, and the studies say that because of that, we have our teenagers that are having heart attacks and strokes. And there, the symptoms, there are no symptoms. There's nothing for the doctors to look for.
Right.
I tend to believe that they believe that children are healthier in this area, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that they look for,
Okay.
because a blood test, you're going to pick up that high cholesterol, high triglycerides. It's going to be seen in the labs. I just think that it is not something that doctors are looking for because they don't expect it, but it is there, and we see it. We see the manifestation because we have young men that have been dropping dead the last few years. Remember, we've got young people that have dropped dead on the basketball court, on the
Yeah.
football field, in the gym room, and all of that kind of stuff. We have these young people that were supposedly healthy, that had no problems, dropping dead from these heart attacks.
And somebody else, if I can, I just saw in the news somebody just died on the soccer field
See,
in Brazil. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. One of the players
Lord,
totally dropped dead while they were
you know,
playing.
yeah, we are, forget this living until, you're 60 and 70 years old. These children, they don't even have a chance to live.
Mm.
Some of them are not living to be 20 years old. And, and it's not because of not even because of a congenital disease. It is strictly because of our diets. It
Okay.
is strictly because of our diets. And one of the things that raises cholesterol is sugar.
Yeah.
And studies show that we eat 60 pounds a year. 60 pounds of sugar. That's the size of a pretty big child.
Mm. Oh my God.
And we love our sugar.
We do.
Yeah, we love our sugar. Don't say anything about our sugar. Don't say anything about our enriched flour. Don't say anything about our ice cream and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say anything about our 1 cup of coffee that we may put 10 teaspoons of sugar in. We have all of these poor habits, and they're not just habits that will habits that you just need to get rid of, simply because they are poor habits. These are habits that are not only affecting our health, but they're affecting the health of our children and our generations to come. Because when whatever is in that, whatever is in that reproductive, those reproductive cells, those germline cells, that's what they're called, those germline cells that carry the traits of our generations, whatever is in that, that is going to be passed down from generation to generation to generation.
Yeah.
And so, we're in a conundrum, and all because of a knife and a fork. All because of a knife and a fork.
Dr. Hill, this is just and I keep thinking of stuff as you're talking, and you are so right. You're so right. I do want to say, Janice Pritchard, she, as we were talking about athletes dropping dead, she said 2 dropped dead today.
Oh my God.
Had no clue.
Ooh, Lord
Maybe,
help
I don't know
Jesus.
if the one I was talking about was one of them or not, but Gina Gatson, thanks for coming in, sweetie. I appreciate you for joining us. She says soda has so much sugar. If you cut that out, you will see a difference. That is so true.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next statement, because it's 16 teaspoons of sugar in just that small 12-ounce can.
Yeah.
And so then at that, we say, well, I only drink 1 soda a day, but it only takes 1 teaspoon of sugar to shut down your immune system for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at now? We are looking at the monkeypox. We're looking at different strains of COVID-19. We're looking at different strains of the flu. Got the avian flu, and then we have another flu, and I'm trying to think of what they call it. And then we have what is it? We have one of the infectious agents that we are dealing with now is in the Ebola family. It's a hemorrhagic virus viral agent. And then I'm looking for Marsburg to follow. I'm expecting. So then you all heard the name here, Marsburg. It's in the family of that Ebola hemorrhagic virus. And so then we have, let's see, we have the monkeypox. We have, yesterday, oh my Lord, yesterday I saw something flying around in my living room, and I had to keep myself from trying to tear up my my house. It was a huge mosquito. It was about 3 or 4 times the normal size of a mosquito. I almost didn't want to believe it was a mosquito. I said, this cannot be a mosquito. And I watched it. I sat and I just watched it, and it watched me because it was not impressed. It didn't get scared. And it just landed on my aloe vera and just sat there and looked at me while I sat and looked at it. But I said, and then I said, this is a mosquito. God, is this that genetic mosquito that they formulated in Florida a couple of years ago to get rid of the regular mosquitoes that had taken over? And I see, because I had been saying, off and on to God, I had been saying, what are the consequences? What happens when you get bitten by one of these genetically modified mosquitoes? What is the solution? What is there an antidote, and do we know what it does in the body because it was formulated? Now listen to this. They formulated this mosquito to alter the reproductive cycle of the regular mosquitoes, so that they would apoptosis. They would produce mosquitoes that would self-destruct.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would they call it apoptosis. It's called apoptosis. It's a word that's used with cancer also when you're dealing with cancer cells.
Mm-hmm.
But they genetically modified these mosquitoes so that, not so that they would die, but that their offsprings would not reproduce, and that they would self-destruct, or apoptosis would occur.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, these mosquitoes, they have been genetically modified to cause the next generation to self-destruct, hara-kiri, whatever the case may be, to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next generation. That would be my children, my child. They would have the ability to, when they had my grandchild, that grandchild, it would self-destruct. Apoptosis would take place. It would never be able to, that generations, the legacy, or the generations, they would never go past that second. And the second generation is the one that has been, that has that has Lord have mercy. They have they have been given the power. Let me go here to Superman talk.
Okay.
They have
Kryptonite.
they have been given the power to destroy their own offspring.
Mm.
And so let me put it this way: automatic abortion, because
Mm.
we know what that is.
Yeah.
Automatic abortion in the womb. That's what they've done to these mosquitoes, these genetically modified mosquitoes. So then when they bite you, and they have this power, and we all know that they suck out blood, but we also know that regular mosquitoes carry malaria. And so we don't know what we're producing here. But the one thing we do know is that all of these things that we are doing, they destroy the coming generations.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then that I did kill that mosquito, by the way. I did.
Thank you, because inquiring minds wanted to know.
And he waited right on my plant, right on my aloe vera plant. He watched me go get something and sat right there until I came back. And it was like he was saying, "Oh, I'm indestructible. You can't kill me."
It was Dr. Hill against the mosquito. Okay.
And so we just are, we love this thing, sugar. Let's go back to that testosterone. Sugar is it is the enemy that reduces the production of the sperm count in the man. It also damages the sperm. So not only does it reduce the production, but it damages the sperm. So let's say that some are, there's a less production of it, less made, born, whatever they are. But then those that are produced, they're damaged. They are damaged. And so, and they also do not have the ability to impregnate. I'm not saying this phrase correctly, but you all know what I'm talking about. That egg that they're supposed to insert themselves in, and to fertilize the egg. Well, that sugar that we love, that 60 pounds of sugar, it prevents the sperm. It damages the sperm in such a way that the sperm does not have the ability to fertilize the female egg.
That's deep.
And that deep.
Yes.
The sugar that we love so much, the sugar that we give to our babies when they first get here, we give them sugar and we give them a cookie
Mm,
or we give them a cracker that turns into sugar.
yep.
Or we give them a sucker when they, get big enough to go to the dentist or the doctor. Or all of these things, we start them out with the very thing that is going to destroy the future generations.
Yeah.
And they grow up with this craving for this sugar. It's a craving for sugar. I remember when Leah's my 15-year-old, she's my 15-year-old grandbaby.
Yeah.
And when she was maybe 3 or 4, I always drank um, water with an entire lemon squeezed in the bottom.
Okay.
I drank it because we were doing the tent then, and I knew that mosquitoes, flies, all of that, they didn't like bitter, so I would not be appetizing to
I like the way you put that. Okay.
them. So Leah, with her little bitty self, all the family would be around, and all the kids would be outside playing, and she would be running and doing what she was doing, and every so often she would take a break, come running in the house, grab my bottle of water with this sour lemon in it, and turn it up and it was just guzzle it all down. And so
Really?
the adults were amazed. They were astonished. And they would say, "Isn't that bitter?" Yes, yes, it is bitter. Bitter is better. Bitter is good. She had not been acclimated to sugar and to sweet. And so all children, they're trained. We
Yeah.
train them, and then we ask, well, how can I get them to eat or to do these things that you're talking about? Well, you trained them to love sugar.
That's right.
You gave them your pop.
Mm-hmm.
You I don't know how many women I see sitting on the bus, young women sitting on the bus, giving their little arm babies the bottle of pop so that they can drink out of it. And it is just disheartening when you think about it, because sugar feeds cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate that we love turns on cancer cells, dormant cancer cells. So then the stem cells from the cancer that has been left from the chemotherapy and the radiation, the stem cells that will hide until you go back to those things, like Jesus said, uh, told the man, he said, don't go back to that you were doing before. He said, because a greater thing is going to come upon you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we go back to that chocolate that we loved, it's going to turn on those stem cells that were left because chemotherapy and radiation does not destroy cancer stem cells. So they lie dormant until we reactivate them or
Mm-hmm.
we turn them on again. And so then that sugar gives them power to it's like super growth.
Yeah.
It makes the cancer cells grow like wildfire, and it makes them act like kids on sugar. How they, it gives them all of this all this hyper energy, and so then they metastasize through the body like, they just that's just what they do. I just had you when I came 3 months ago, you said that I didn't have cancer, and now it's 3 months later. How could I be in third stage cancer? How can I be in fourth stage cancer? Because you love sugar,
Okay.
because you love enriched flour,
Right.
because you love sandwiches, meat and starch. Meat and starch is a tumor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just plain and simple. It is a tumor. When you something that I used to do, I've said this often, so some of you all just that heard it before, just kind of put your fingers in your ears. Um, I used to do something years ago. There was a young lady that had breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and the X-rays and the pictures that the doctors took, she gave them to me. I said I got her permission to use them in the workshops. And because the picture looked like a pizza,
Yeah.
it was identical to a pizza. And so I would show Brandy and asked me to stop doing this a long time. And Mama, please don't do that anymore. I would hold up the a pizza box, and I would hold up the labs. I would hold up the pictures that were taken in the lab.
Mm.
And I would say, "What is this?" And everybody would always say, "Well, it's pizza." "Oh, yeah, that's pizza." I would say, "What about this one?" "Oh, yeah, that's pizza." "And what about this one?" "Oh, yeah, that's pizza." They're both pizza. And one was breast cancer and one was pizza. And so because of our appetites, now we do know better. We may
Mhm.
not know exactly what we should do or how we should do it, but we know we should do better than what we're doing.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
And so um, I watch on Facebook, and now the going thing, I think I've said it for the last two uh, shows that we've had. All of the meals, everybody now is preparing meals on Facebook. And
Mhm.
you can just see a row of, "Oh, I'm going to try that. Oh, I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Oh, yeah, I think that I'm going to have that for my family tonight." And I'm thinking, and I look, I say, okay, cancer, 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 heart attack, stroke, I named the condition that
Meal.
this meal is going to, I almost said product, this meal is going to cause,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. And so we have no discretion. We have no forethought. We have no planning when it comes to the most important thing that we have as a protective mechanism.
Yeah.
Eating is a strategy. It's a health strategy.
Mhm.
And we think absolutely nothing about it. We don't think anything about it. We purchase stuff that's not food, and we make it look pretty,
Mhm.
and we make it taste good.
Yeah.
And it's deadly to the body. And the method in which we prepare it is the same thing. If we pop it in the microwave nukes it. So it's full of radiation. We put our face to the door, and so now we've radiated ourselves, and we not realizing that what you eat once you eat that stuff that comes out of the microwave, then that it causes a chemical interaction, a chemical reaction in the body, and it is a negative reaction. It's detrimental to the body.
Yeah.
And it is the same thing with how we combine our foods. I was thinking of several weeks ago, I was thinking, how is it that we have so many people that are vegetarians or that are vegans, that they don't eat starch, they don't eat starch, they don't eat oils, they don't eat meat, they're strict vegetarians. How is it that they can die of a disease?
Mm.
And so I was watching something, of course, again. I like to watch the food things, the food stuff people. The
The foods people.
food stuff people. And I was watching, and this young lady, she took, Lord, maybe I shouldn't. Well, let me put it this way. She, all of the melons, she combined them together, and then she added something to go with that, and so forth and so on. And so I said, okay, this is one of those healthy meals or healthy drinks, depending upon what she was calling it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, this is how we can be vegetarian. This is how we cannot eat starch. This is how we cannot eat meat or oils and die from a disease.
Oh.
Because we combine foods together. When we do have food or we do prepare food, we combine them in such a way that they deactivate. See, it's the enzymes that carry out the healing process in the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then those enzymes, they have to be activated. They have to have the ability to do what it is that they were designed to do. Well, each food group has their own set of enzymes. All enzymes do not go together. You
Yeah.
can't mix them. It's just like when you look at your medication might say, if you are on aspirins to thin the blood, do not take it with this medication.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with food,
Yeah.
because they are chemicals. They are chemicals. They are plant hormones. They have all of that God put in it, and everything doesn't go together.
Yeah.
Everything should not be eaten together. And so when we do put them together, then they deactivate one another. They neutralize the enzymes and the chemicals that were placed in them to cause healing in the body. So then, for example, that melon, um, I
Concoction.
said concoction. That's exactly the word I stopped myself from saying.
Uh-huh.
But we do it at the church. That's one of our favorite things to do, is that watermelon boat
Oh.
with the
Yeah.
cantaloupe and
Mm-hmm.
the honeydew melon and all of the melons together in that watermelon boat. Well, that is, you would think that would be the most nutritious thing that you could have, especially on a hot summer day. But in actuality, you might as well take that and pour the contents down the toilet, flush it, and then take that melon rind and then take it and put it in the food process. What is that thing?
User.
That yeah, put it in there, or take it in the backyard and don't give it to the birds. Don't give it to the
Oh,
animals.
oh, not a juicer. So you really saying basically to
I'm
throw it
talking
away.
about, what is that thing? Yeah, what is that? Where they it's not food disposal. What is that thing?
Yeah.
Is it? Is that what it is? Okay, well, that thing right there, you put that rind in there and dispose of it, because you're going to have some problems. And
Okay.
sometimes we're having these digestive problems. We don't know where they came from. And
Right.
they came from the manner in which we combine our foods, because we look for pretty, smell good, taste good. That's what we look for. And that is the worst thing you can do when you're talking about food, because food is medicine. And the reason that you eat it is because God put in it certain superpowers. He
Mm.
put in it powers. He put in it those things that would facilitate healing in our bodies or maintain health, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which, which is different. Healing is not health. uh, we should be in health at all times. But when we are not, then God will heal us. But healing, it means that you at some point had to lose your health.
Right. To be in need
And
of healing.
yeah, but when in actuality, we should be walking in health, and we should be laying hands on the sick and they do recover. But we're so busy being sick
Ooh.
and living at the emergency room and at the doctor's office, um, until we don't have, let me say this right, because we do have the ability, but we have not activated, nor have we cultivated the ability that we have to lay hands on the sick and they do recover. And because we live in sickness and disease, that is our state of being, then we lose our testimony because people are looking at us and they're saying one of two things: either your God does not heal, or you can't lay hands on me and heal me because you can't lay hands on yourself and heal you.
One or
And
the
so,
other.
yeah, one or the other. And so we are witness or a testimony. It doesn't matter which way it goes. And we totally um, eradicate, actually, some of we make some of the promises that God has given us of null, we make them null and of no effect because we don't walk in the principles. So then if I asked you who you are, and then I say, what are you? I would like those that are listening to us, um, please put your answer. Let me see you put your answer. Some of you give me an answer to that question. Who
Uh-oh.
are you and what are you?
Who are you and what are you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, y'all have some in session homework here. Question that Dr. Hill has for you. You guys can go ahead and start putting your responses into the comment section. I do want to say thank you, Kristen. She said garbage disposal. That's what you were looking for earlier.
Thank you,
Uh,
Christian. Yes,
I said
exactly.
yes. Yeah, I said yeah. Food disposal.
Right.
That's
We
good.
have so, we have so many newfangled thingies.
We do. We do. So again, Dr. Hill's asking a question. If you guys are just now joining us, we are probably like 40, almost 50 minutes. I didn't do my 30 minutes in, but we've been talking with Dr. Shirley Hill, MoFaith Nutritional Services, in our monthly health and wellness segment. And we're talking about um, terminating future generations with our knife and fork. That is our topic title on today. And she has really been teaching and instructing us about that knife and fork. She laid on that sugar for a while, y'all. So I don't know. Hopefully y'all didn't tune out, but we need to hear this. We need to take this in because it's too many of us, as she was just ending up with that last where she was talking about too many are sick. She said we should be laying hands on the sick. And Dr. Hill, as you were talking, you mentioned about some people, they basically stay in the emergency room. I know sometimes my heart really, really goes out for some individuals. They're almost sickly, they just constantly, at the doctor in the emergency room. And I know a lot of it, some individuals I know, it could be avoided because of that knife and fork.
Yeah.
So sometimes we kind of, bring things on ourselves, if I can say that. Hey, thank you, Mother Elizabeth Whitfield, for watching. I don't want to go too much into that. And also Farron McLemore, thank you. Diane St. Hilaire, we appreciate you. Dr. Shauna Gordine. Dr. Shauna, thanks for coming in. I did mention Gina Gatson, Demetrius Bert Michi. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Any others that came in that I did not get a chance to call your name, forgive me. Charge it to my head, not my heart. But if you make a comment, I can recognize you. But I haven't seen any responses to Dr. Hill's question. She says, what are you and who are you? That's right. Is that right? Those are the questions you asked?
That's right. They're real simple.
Maybe they don't know.
You're thinking too hard. You're thinking too hard. Trying to get philosophical.
I hope they know. What are you and who are you? That's she said you're thinking too hard if you if you ain't gave no answer yet. I added that in. Do you know who you are? Do you know what you are? This is a good this is I put that in the comment section. So look there, guys. She wants your responses. I'll let her continue on. Now we're not going to be here that much longer today, guys. So again, go ahead, tag individuals, share, like, love, care button, thumbs up. Go ahead, Dr. Hill.
Since we only have what, about 10 minutes,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you the solution to this problem. Of
Okay.
course, we know that we need to change our eating habits. We need to fall out of love. Actually, we need to ask to be delivered
Oh,
from the things that hold us captive. Those
mm,
things, we need to clean out our pantries. We have our poor children.
mm,
Our poor children, they can wake up in the middle of the night. They can go into the pantry. They can get a bag of chips. They can get a bag of hot Takis. That's Spanish. You all know. I've got Spanish in-laws and Spanish grandchildren. So, uh, excuse me. Takis are now. What do we call them? What do we call them? We don't call them Takis. We call them, what's those red things that
the,
hot?
the
What are
flaming
those?
hot, flaming
That's it.
hot.
That's it. So that's our hot Takis. Flaming hots
Mm-hmm.
are our hot Takis. And so our children can wake up, they can wake up in the middle of the night and go to the pantry and get them. And so, but what we don't realize is that these things in particular, all of that red stuff is MSG, it's monosodium glutamate, and it poisons the brain. It attacks the brain. If
Mm-hmm.
your children are having headaches, then that you should take a look at that, their snacky snacks.
Mm.
Yeah, you should take a look at their snacky snacks, because if that MSG is in there, it's attacking the brain.
Okay.
And Alzheimer's is it. When I was a kid, I never ever knew a senior adult that had memory problems, memory loss, Alzheimer's. I never knew it. They
Yeah.
could chase us down the street and beat us, get to the corner before we got there, and then turn around and beat us with a switch.
Yep.
And so, and they didn't forget, they never forgot anything. Please excuse me. I am so sorry. Please.
Okay. All right. While she's doing that, you guys, again, this is our monthly health and wellness segment with Dr. Shirley Hill, and we appreciate her coming in today, talking to us about terminating future generations with a knife and fork. Terminating future generations with a knife and fork. And so she's been discussing what we need to do. I put in the comment section some of the things she said we need to change our eating habits. She said, ask God to deliver us from bad eating habits and also to clean out your pantries. So this is something that we need to try and do for ourselves and, of course, the future generations, which is what we're discussing on today. Go ahead, Dr. Hill.
Another thing that is a brain poison is that soda pop that has diet pop in particular, because diet pop has in it the phenols and let me see, acesulfame. It has acesulfame, it has phenols, and it has aspartame.
Aspartame.
Those three chemicals together, they eat holes in the brain.
Yeah.
And they cause seizures. And we have children that are having seizures. They're having multiple seizures a day, and nobody knows why. And there's nothing that the doctor can do for them. And they are, but we think it's no harm to give them these type of things because it says sugar free.
Right.
And so then, but we don't realize if it doesn't have sugar, what's the chemical that makes it sweet?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that chemical do to the body that makes it sweet?
Right.
And so we don't eat food anymore. You know, it's just obsolete. It has become obsolete in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
And but you all listen, what we are and who we are not the same thing.
Mm.
What we are is spiritual. No, no, no. Who we are is spiritual. Who we are is a spiritual thing. But what we are is a chemical material thing.
Mm.
And that means that every time we eat something, then uh, we are causing a chemical, external and internal chemical reaction in the body. And so then, if these chemicals, if these materials, which are what we are, because you are what you eat, if these things do, if they have a key, if they're not those 11 chemicals that was in the soil that gives life to the body, if they are not those, if that's not the material that you're putting in your body, because those have the receptors, they have the merry stem cells that come from the fruits and the vegetables that come from the garden that God placed us in.
Mm-hmm.
Those merry stem cells give our stem cells the ability to make body parts. But we are replacing those things with toxic chemicals. We are replacing them with things that came out of the laboratory. And those things, they, like the meristem cells, they fit the receptors of the body. But
Mm-hmm.
when they fit the receptors, they turn off genes. They turn off switches. And they change the chemical structures, hormones, all of those things. The chemistry is changed. And so now we have, instead of the body being replenished, restored, revitalized, repaired, all of those things, the body is being diminished, destroyed, and it's being deregulated. It's
Mm.
being deregulated. And so every time we put something in our mouth, we are literally making a choice between life and death.
Wow.
And so, you know, we think God is all loving. God is all, you know, all the stuff that we say about it. God
Mm-hmm.
told me this one time when I was dealing with a young lady, beautiful young lady, the one that had the breast cancer, that I would show her picture. And I would be crying on my knees, crying out to God for this young woman because she was young. I'm not sure she was 30. I know she wasn't 35.
Okay.
And I would be crying out for her, and I would be wailing, I would be weeping, and I, because she didn't pay me no attention. She'd do what I told her to do for a minute, and then she'd be on television following something she saw on television, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, this girl is gonna make it through. She gonna make it through on prayer. She ain't gonna make it through on what I'm telling her because she's not doing what I told
Oh my gosh.
her. Listen, I'm on my knees wailing before the Lord, and God said to me, just as clear. He said, "Leave me alone." He said, "She is wasting my time.
Oh
Don't pray
my.
for her again." Yes, he did. And so I understand that people think, they feel some kind of way when I may not have as much sympathy for them as I should.
Mm-hmm.
But God spoke this to me, and I said, okay. Even you get tired of our foolishness.
Oh my God.
He said, "Leave me alone. She is wasting my time." I said, "Ugh." was through. I
Wow.
told her exactly what God told me. And you know what she said to me? I can see that. So sometimes
Really?
we got 100 people, we got the whole choir and all of the ministerial staff praying for us, and just knowing we're going to live and this, that, and the other, and then we die. And it
Mm-mm-mm.
is because God said, leave me alone.
Wow.
Yeah, leave me alone. They are wasting my time.
That is so deep.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you said, God gets tired too.
Hmm.
And, I don't know. He has such mercy on us. So it's, we really need to take advantage of it. I wanted to ask you something before we ended on today. I don't know if you saw this news about a mom that went viral for creating a salad bar in her home. Did you see that?
I did not.
Um, I want to say that I don't want to guess where it is. I thought it was down south somewhere. I don't remember. I really remember, but I saw it about a week ago, and she actually created a salad bar in her home. And they have a lot of children, her and her husband, so that her children will be able to eat fruits and vegetables. So just like you mentioned earlier about them going into the pantry and they can get Takis or whatever, they can go to the salad bar. She preferred them to go to the salad bar and get.
Right.
So and then it's a huge salad bar too. So she actually went viral on TikTok for that. So might want to check that out.
You know what? I'm going to look for that because that's actually what we should be doing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually what and how we should be training our children.
Uh-huh. I would
Yeah.
totally agree. I would totally agree. I want to see if I can just show you this picture real quick.
While you're pulling that up, let me say this before we close down, and I forgot. Oh my goodness.
Yep, you see it?
I see it. And where are they?
I will have to look further. I can't remember what
Okay.
state they live in, but she was at a gas station traveling somewhere, and somebody saw her and realized that she was the same mother, and
Yes,
like was asking her all kind of questions about how to do it. So I mean, this literally looks like you're at one of those salad, you know,
it does.
restaurants.
Yeah, it
And
does.
you got it set up. I see all the vegetables and everything in there. So but
That's
yeah.
the way it's supposed to be. That right there.
Hmm.
That's the garden. That's the garden in your kitchen or in your dining room. That's the garden right there. And they
Right.
could just walk through and pick whatever they want. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
I might have to do something like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because, like I said, you had
Thank you.
mentioned about the children. You can get up in the middle of the night and they can
Yeah,
go and you get all bad stuff. So that might not be a bad idea. She didn't start out with a huge salad bar, and I think
hmm,
she kind of started out with having containers and everything. But I don't know how her and her husband created that huge thing, but they did.
that is wonderful. It is
Yeah.
wonderful. And
Yeah.
that's exactly how you prepare yourself um, before a fast, because fasting is how you see. I hear someone asking, well, we've eaten this way for so long, and I have these conditions in my body, and so what is it that we can do? Fasting is your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now we talk about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is the fast that you do for weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the fast that you do for autophagy to change and diminish disease in the body.
Yeah.
The first 2 days of a fast is weight loss. It is your body switching from burning sugar to that 60 pounds of sugar that we eat. So then the first 2 days of the fast, your body is switching from burning all of that sugar. It's switching over to burning the stored fat. that is stored because you ate the sugar.
Yeah.
And then, but see, during that process, autophagy cannot take place.
Mm-hmm.
Autophagy, because remember, sugar is the enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have all of this sugar being released, being burnt up in our body. It's being used, being burnt as energy. It is the fuel.
Yeah.
So that you lose the weight because all of that sugar, cholesterol, and all of that is being diminished and being uh, released and evacuated from the body. Then the body switches to uh, to burning the stored fat, and so that those 2 days you lose your weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is the third day because now the sugar has been evacuated. Now on the third day, your body can activate autophagy, and autophagy is the healing, repairing, revitalizing. Autophagy, it is the builders. So
Yeah.
then you're building a new house. You can't build a thing if men don't come to do the work. Well, the autophagy is the process by which the work takes place. Enzymes are the workers. They are the ones that carry out the process.
Yeah.
Enzymes come from all of that food that you saw along that garden that she had in her kitchen or dining room. Well, those contain the enzymes that your body needs to reverse the process. And
Mm.
so then that's your preparation period before the fast. So on the 17th, I believe it is, we're going on our next fast. Got a couple of weeks to prepare the body. So now you can prepare your living room or your dining room or your kitchen. Lay out all of your fruits and vegetables that have your enzymes in them, and make sure that you do 14 raw fruits and vegetables a day. So you can do it in a smoothie, you can juice it, you can do it in a salad, however you do it. The rainbow salad, you can find that on my website. If Brandy is here, she can put that website on. You can go there. You can't just eating two of those salads. That's four, isn't it? Two of those salads a day.
The other two.
You will have 12 of those vegetables that you need, and throw in there a couple of smoothies. You got your 14 fruits and vegetables that you need, and your body is getting the enzymes that it needs to repair, rebuild, restore, revitalize, and heal your body on that fast. So that's how you undo all of that you have done. And you may have to do several. So come along and fast with us every time we go on our fast and get you healing.
All right, all right, and that's good. You threw that in there. I think I was talking with someone not too long ago, and they mentioned that they had just started doing a fast, and I just asked them, "Well, how did you prepare your
Mm,
fast?" And they didn't necessarily prepare their body.
yeah.
And I said that that's important. Number one, that'll help you, last longer. But you don't want to like mess your body up and just, okay, I'm just going to fast, but I've just eaten this cheeseburger here, or something.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
to. There's a process.
Mhm.
So thank you for mentioning that and talking about how to get your body prepared for a fast. And like you said, it'll help with the healing process. It'll definitely help. And of course, with that spiritual aspect too, it'll help with
Yeah.
that.
And so
Uh,
I always say that Dr. Hunt teaches the spiritual aspects. I talk about the physical, the natural.
that's
And
right.
so, they go together because your health springs forth speedily when you prepare your body and fast properly. The
Yeah.
spiritual, we pretty much got the spiritual down pat because we've been practicing that forever. But that other health springing forth, no.
Right. That is so true, Dr. Hill. So true. So I have you guys, in case you did not look down at the bottom of Dr. Hill's name, that is her website, mofaith, mophethns.com. So you can go there and you can visit her. You can set up appointments, consultation, purchase resale products. There's so much on her website that you can go and check out for you, for your family. So please make sure you do that on today, and you won't be disappointed. Trust me, you would not be disappointed. So you make sure you do that on today. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us on today for your input. For those of you that have just come in and just listened, maybe you were taking notes, maybe you're just taking it all in, whatever you did, thank you so much. And also for tagging individuals on today. Thanks, Gina, for tagging, and many of you that did tag and like and share. I appreciate you. We always want to try and bring you great quality programming, and of course, this end of the month, that is essential. So you all make sure you put that on your calendars every month. At the end of the month, we are talking to Dr. Shirley Hill, MoFaith Nutritional Services. Dr. Hill, thank you again. Appreciate you taking time out and teaching and instructing us on today. So guys, after this, if you need to contact Dr. Hill, go to her website. All right. And we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll be back next month for another health and wellness. And we'll be back in another couple of weeks for fresh new guests on Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. So stay tuned. And I think we should be having some Gina Gatson next month. I believe we're setting up interviews with your nominees for this year for DAG Awards, and we want to try and push and promote that as well. Wonderful organization, and she's a sweetheart, and I just thank God for her. So hopefully we'll be getting a chance to interview many of her the nominees for this year. You all know that last year Annette Harris was nominated, and God blessed her to win Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. So I didn't submit, of course, anything this year, but we are grateful for the network. We're grateful for those who have been nominated and who are doing great things. I think I saw Farron McLemore on earlier. Her book has been nominated for an award on this year. So we're just thanking God for the doors that are opening. And so be prepared for that next month. We are going to come on and talk with them and have them share their experience with their book and with the nomination. And it'll be in Chicago this year, guys. So we'll be pushing that. The award show will be here. All right. You are more than welcome, Gina. She said, thank you. I appreciate that. But thank you for the connection. Dr. Hill, we'll see you soon. We have a couple of things coming up. I think our Women's Day is coming up next weekend, and I believe Salt Calls is the following weekend. So this is the year of the woman. Come on, y'all. Come through. Well, we do this annually, but it is the year of the woman. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We will see you soon. Thanks again for joining us on today, and take care and be in health, as Dr. Hill will say. All right.
Get caught in a net with